Hey everybody, today I'm going to be showing you how to make a painted constellation galaxy pumpkin. You will need a pumpkin of any size, some sponges to dab on your galaxy colors onto the pumpkin. You need a paintbrush for painting your pumpkin black. You will need some either gold Sharpie paint markers or regular Sharpie markers. The gold will show up really well, and this is for drawing on our constellations. And then you will need black paint for the base of the pumpkin, and then a variety of colors for your galaxy. I know everybody kind of knows that the general galaxy is usually a purple and a pink and a blue. I have two different blues I thought would look good. So follow along and you will see how I go about creating this gorgeous pumpkin for October and Halloween. Alright, I'm going to get started painting my pumpkin. The first step is painting your pumpkin black all over. You might need more than one coat. This will be the part that takes the longest to dry. I'm not really an expert at painting pumpkins. I usually end up getting angry, but I'm not sure exactly how long it'll take to dry, but we will see. So just get you some black, and I just put my black in a cup, and we'll just start the bottom. And this is a really pigmented black, so we might not need too many coats. Like, that's a really nice black. Like, it goes on there pretty dark. We might not need 2 coats. We'll see how it looks. You're just going to do this all over the pumpkin. Whenever I paint pumpkins, I always leave the stem alone. I think some people might paint them, but I'm sure if people paint them, they paint them last, because this is going to help you move it about. I generally don't paint them because I think they look pretty on their own, but if you want to paint yours, that's absolutely fine. When you're painting and you want to get down here at the bottom, I usually just stick it like this. I know some people probably lift it and go to paint the bottom. I generally just try to paint what you can see, because I don't want to paint the bottom and then set it back down and it just go off on the paper towels that I have laid down. And make sure you lay something down, or you do this outside, or just on a surface that you don't care if you get paint on. I am notorious for making messes. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I have made messes. So I try to just keep it on paper towels or something. And again, like I said, I usually just look at it. I paint the bottom part here, the part that I can see, the part that my paintbrush reaches to. So if you want to paint it all the way down where, all the way from top to bottom, you can, but you don't have to. Alright, I've got about 1/3 of my pumpkin left. And like some of these spots like this, if I don't care if they're there, but I guess if you don't like that texture, you could maybe kind of take a knife and slice it, but don't slice all the way into the inside of the pumpkin. But since this is pumpkins being painted black, they're kind of covered good enough to where you don't need to worry about it. And I'm pretty sure that we will not need more than 1 coat, because this black has gone on pretty decently. Now, something like white or a very light color would probably need more than 1 coat, depending on the quality of the paint. I wore this Halloween shirt today. It's got a pumpkin face on it, and I was like, I totally thought that today was October 1st for some reason. And then I realized it wasn't, and I was like, well, I'm not going to change. I'm going to go ahead and film my video so I can be festive for pumpkin painting. One thing that you will also need to think about is what constellation you will be putting. You can put more than one since the pumpkin's pretty big. I'm thinking about doing the Big Dipper, because that's one that I recognize easily, the Big and Small Dipper. I might do Orion, and if you don't know, you can always look it up, because I know some names, but I don't know all of the constellations. So when I get done, I'm going to look it up on my phone and decide which one, and I'll probably print off a picture of it so that I know what it looks like, so that I can use it as reference when I get to that point. Alright, I think it's complete. what I'm gonna do is just kind of look around, lift it up and look around. Again, I left that bottom part blank without paint because I mean, it's just gonna be sitting down. There's no point in doing that. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then when we come back, we will start with our sponging on of our galaxy colors. Alright, now that my pumpkin is dry, I'm going to start dabbing on different colors so that it will be galaxy. So I'm going to grab my sponge, and I'm going to start off with the blue, and I put all my stuff in cups. So I'm just going to put some on here, and we're just going to dab it, and like you can take different parts of it and dab it. Might help if you can see what I'm doing. From what I can tell, it's good to take it and put a little bit on one side and do like a dab like that, and then take the other side that doesn't have that high concentration of paint and just dab it out. And you're going to do this all over. I'm going to go ahead and do this all over, and then I will be back to show you the next color. And I'm going to do this all around the pumpkin and then come back to the next color. Okay, I'm almost done with the purple. And just stippling or tapping it on there. Okay, doesn't look too bad. Now we can move on to the pink. Alright, I'm going to do this all the way around, and then we'll go, I'll come back to get to that final dark blue. Okay, now that I have all the pink on there, I'm going to do the blue, and instead of using up another sponge, I'm just going to use the other side of this one. Now, there are different ways you can do this. You don't have to do this like how I have it all over. You could just do spots here and there. I just wanted to make my whole pumpkin galaxy, so you can do it however you want. I'm going to go ahead and do this all over, and then when I'm done, I will show you what it looks like. And then we'll have to let it dry so that we can make our stencil, or to make our constellations with our stencil. Okay, so I decided I wanted to give it a little something else. So I'm going to take another paintbrush and dip it into the white. Now if you want to do this, you can, but I will let you know that you're going to get paint on your, I already got paint all over my hands, so I'm going to put some white paint on here, and I'm just going to flick it. And then it gives it like a star effect. I'm getting up closer so you can see what happens when I do that. Do you see it coming on here? Ooh, that was neat. And it definitely adds to the galaxy effect. Isn't that neat? You don't have to do this, but it does make it look pretty cool. Kind of brings it all together. And then whenever we're done doing this, I'm going to let it dry, and then we'll come back to put our stencil on. Alright, so I've got my white paint speckled all over it to give it that kind of galaxy look to it. I know at the beginning I said you didn't need it, but I would definitely use the white paint and splatter it to make it, you know, even more of a galaxy. Alright, so I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back later and put on the constellations. Okay, now that I'm back, I'm going to draw my constellations on. I'm not a very good freehand drawer, so what I've done is I went on, I looked on Google and I found a U.S. Constellation website, or just constellations in general. And I found these maps of the constellations. And so I cut them out and I took an X-Acto knife and I just kind of did a line through where it's at. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this onto my pumpkin just with some Scotch tape so it doesn't really pull off any of the paint. And then I'm going to use my paint marker to draw into the lines. And then when after I do that, I'll try to put a dot at the major points. So let me get set up and then I will show you how to do that. Alright, now that I have it taped on here, I'm going to attempt to use my paint marker here to draw it on. I'm testing my paint marker on my paper towel to make sure that I have enough ink coming out. Alright, so I'm going to start up here. It's going to be a little hard. It starts up in here. Try to hold it down. I didn't want to tape it down all the way because I didn't want it to be drawn on wrong. And if it doesn't look perfect, it's okay, but I'm just really bad at hand drawing. If you're really good at doing this with like freehand, then I totally recommend doing freehand. But again, as I said, I am not the best at freehand. So what I'm going to do now is I still have my constellation down in front of me. I'm going to flatter these lines, make them a little bit more flattering. Here. Alright, so if you can see that is Scorpius, which is the scorpion, and I'm a Scorpio, so that's why I decided to go with that one. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my others. So this is the finished product. I have Scorpius, Grus, which is the crane, Ursa Minor, which is Little Bear, or in our area we call it the Little Dipper. I have the Phoenix, and I wrote Happy Halloween 21. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know I was kind of all over the place with it, but that's how I am with every tutorial. So if you decide to do this, please send us your pictures. We would love to see them. Thank you, and happy crafting, and happy Halloween.